owned We are live here at Batavia, New York, for the home opener here for the Batavia Muckdogs as they take on the Elmira Pioneers tonight. Hello, everyone. I'm Alex Chippert, and I welcome you inside the broadcast booth real quick. It's been quite an extravagant showing so far. There have been helicopters here on opening night for the Batavia Muckdogs, and a great ceremony for the national anthem as I turn on the camera just in time for all of you at home to see. And it's been a great showing here. And now, as it will be, the banner unveiling for the Batavia Muckdogs has been unveiled now as their manager Skip has done it. He has revealed the 2022 West Division Champs banner for the Batavia Muckdogs, and I know all the Elmira Pioneers would love to wipe that smug grin off the Muckdogs' faces, and that'll be their goal, exactly what they're going to be trying to do tonight. As the owner Robbie Nichols just said, let's play ball. And now as the Pioneers retreat to their dugout, I do want to apologize last night as there was only 55 minutes of the first home opener for the Pioneers uploaded to YouTube. I did not realize that I was not live anymore at that point in time, and I do apologize for that. And tonight I will be much more careful to pay attention to that. And a little bit of a short recap here as we get ready to get going here in Batavia as both teams are taking their respective warm-ups in their respective dugouts. A recap of last night's game, the Elmira Pioneers jumped out to an early 7-0 lead in an explosive bottom of the third where they scored 6 runs. And then slowly but surely over the course of the game, the Batavia Muckdogs crawled their way back and tied it in the top of the 7th. 7-7 was the score. And then in the bottom of the 7th, the Elmira Pioneers immediately answered with a 4-run inning of their own, and they were able to make it an 11-7. And then throughout the 8th and 9th inning, the Batavia Muckdogs closed in and clawed their way to make it a little bit closer. However, they ran out of time as the final score of Elmira's home opener was 11-9. The Pioneers won, and they're now 1-0 coming into tonight's game. And speaking of tonight's game, let's listen to the starting lineup for the Elmira Pioneers. Leading off, it'll be number 4, Weston Gingrich, back in his center field position as he was last night in the home opener. And then batting second in his same position, designated hitter, tonight will be Aiden Blake, number 9. He did the exact same role last night and was prolific at it last night. Batting third will be John Schroeder, number 10. He was the first baseman last night in the home opener. He will be the catcher tonight. And then batting fourth, the RBI man himself, Ray Hernandez, number 47. He had 3 RBIs last night in a terrific performance against this same Muckdogs team back in Elmira. He will be the extra hitter tonight, batting fourth. Batting fifth now will be Kevin Noss in his first start today. He will be in left field, number 33. Batting sixth will be number 2, Dom Presto, the shortstop. He was at second base last night. He will be the shortstop tonight. Batting 7th will be number 44, Matt Frazetta, getting his first start at first base tonight. And then in the 8th batting position will be number 22, Nick Bisaccia, who will be manning second base tonight for the Pioneers. And then batting 9th, it'll be number 40, Nick Montagna, going over at his first start at third base. And finally, batting 10th, at the caboose, bringing up the rear, their fan favorite, number 24, Eric Charnetsky, getting his first start tonight at right field. And now, going and looking at the starting pitcher for the Batavia Muckdogs, it'll be number 40, Julian Pichardo. Pichardo getting his first start, as it was Preston Prince last night in the home opener, getting the start against the Pioneers. He's from the University of Fort Lauderdale, 6'5", 230. And he had a 2.45 ERA last year in Batavia, 55 innings pitched along with 42 strikeouts. And last year at Fort Lauderdale, he had a 3.20 ERA while striking out 17 batters in 19 innings. A very prolific pitcher that the Pioneers are going to have to go up against tonight.
And now it's time for our second ceremonial first pitch.
And now as we wait for the ceremonial first pitches, however, I will go through the defense of the Batavia Muckdogs in the meantime. Starting in center field, it'll be number 18, Anthony Calabro. And then in right field, it'll be Josh Ledham, number 16. In the second base position, it'll be Giuseppe Arcuri, number 88. Then over in the shortstop position, it'll be Caleb Rodriguez. In left, it'll be Matt DeStefano, number 45. And then it'll be Victor Alongi over at third base. And Henry Daniels, number 33, getting another start here at first base. And not to mention, it'll be a new catcher behind the plate, for the Mud Dogs tonight. It'll be Bryce Mortellaro. Bryce Mortellaro will be the catcher tonight for the Batavia Mud Dogs. The Mud Dogs trying to avoid an 0-2 start to the season. And this would be the first time, really in a long time, that the Pioneers have gotten such a great start against these Mud Dogs. This last year, Elmira was 2-6 against this same Mud Dogs team. And of course, they went on to be the West Division champions. The Mud Dogs did in 2022 as the banner was unveiled just earlier tonight. And it's going to be very interesting to see. However, Elmira seems to be going in a different direction. And their starting pitcher will be Max Gentile, the Canadian Cannon. He's 6'4", 200 pounds, sophomore pitcher out of the University of Ottawa, the Geegees, and yes, it is G-E-E is their name. And his hometown is Toronto, Ontario, will be the starting pitcher for the Elmira Pioneers tonight. However, first up, it'll be the Elmira Pioneers batting. Obviously, Elmira trying to go up 2-0 after starting 11-9 win last night in the home opener. And I talked with head coach Andrew Drum on the bus ride up here a little bit earlier today. Let's take a listen to that. Hello, everyone. I am back with head coach Andrew Drum once again for the second day of the Coach's Corner interview. Hello, Coach Drum.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
All right, my first question for you, Coach. How does it feel to get the first win of the season on opening night?
It's always great to win the first game, especially at home in front of, I think we had 4,200 people last night, so always big to get that first win at home.
And now, what were your biggest takeaways from last night's win?
So I thought we swung the bats really well. We got a great start out of Connor. Pitch count got up a little bit early in the fifth inning, but he pitched great. Didn't walk many guys, kept the pitch count down for the first 4 innings. We need to play a little bit better defense, and we need a little bit better command out of the bullpen.
Now, going into a hostile environment in Batavia, are you telling your players anything to keep them focused on the game and not to get distracted by the hostile crowd?
Big thing is just try and block them out. Obviously there's going to be 2,000-some people there. They're going to be loud. They're going to be rowdy. But we got to try and block them out the best that we can and play our style of baseball.
And what do you think your team needs to continue to do from last night or add anything to tonight's game in order to get the win here?
We just got to keep the approach at the plate. I thought it was really good last night. Everybody looked really good. I think everyone had hits except maybe 2 guys in the starting lineup. Got to play a little bit better defense, and we just got to continue to pound the strike zone.
Thank you. And my last question for you, Coach Drum. How good would it feel to sweep Batavia in back-to-back games to open up the season?
It'd be great to start 2-0 against Batavia. We struggled against them last year, and it'd be really good to kind of rain on their parade, getting their Western Championship banner tonight. So, big game tonight. It'd be a big win for us, too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, Coach. And now, as the game got a little bit of a head start, it is Weston Gingerich up first for the Pioneers, already at a 1-1 count against Julian Pichardo. Pichardo now sets, deals. Weston Gingerich showed bunt, and that is strike number 2. The count goes to 1-2 on Gingerich. And as I heard, and as you guys heard watching at home in that interview, I talked with head coach Andrew Drum about how badly they would love to take down the Western Division champions in their home opener. And a lot of the returners even have a lot of extra motivation. I asked him about that earlier before game 1, as that one is fouled off by Gingerich, and he's able to stay alive. The count stays at 1-2. And I think so many of these returners would love to come to Batavia and start the season off 2-0 against the Mud Dogs, their rivals, the same team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year. This is a massive opportunity for the Pioneers, and I truly think they have a great shot to get it done tonight. Pichardo sets, deals, and that one is down low. Ball 2, and the count evens up 2-2. Pichardo sets, fires, and that one is all to the inside, and that'll be ball 3, and the count now goes full 3-2. We saw this a lot with the leadoff man last night, Mac Granato, able to prolong at-bats and get it to full counts oftentimes. Weston Gingerich has done the same thing here against Pichardo in the very first at-bat of the game. Pichardo deals, and it's swung on driven foul over the third baseman, comes over and makes the play. Victor Alongi gets the first out of the game for the Batavia Muckdogs, and that is a fly out for Weston Gingrich, and now it'll bring up number 9, Aiden Blake. Blake, of course, in last night's game at a 200 batting average, 1 run, 1 hit, and 2 strikeouts in that game. The senior infielder from UMass Boston in his hometown of Lakeville, Massachusetts. Pichardo sets, deals, and that one is called strike 1. And that count now goes 0-1. 1 away here in the top of the first. Pichardo sets, deals, and a swing and a miss there for Aiden Blake, and the count goes to 0-2 now against Blake. Swing, and it's line drive passed over towards the third base side, and that will be driven all the way around, and that will be a base hit. It was hard to see with the sun whether that one actually counted or not, whether it was fair or foul. However, it is a double. That one went all the way down the left field line into the corner, and it'll be a double for Aiden Blake, and he finds himself on base, and the Pioneers are already in business. And now this will bring up the third batter, number 10, John Schroeder, the catcher tonight. Schroeder started at first base last night's game. He had 1 run and 1 strikeout, 6'1", 180, sophomore catcher from Florida Atlantic University. And Aiden Blake, before I even got a chance to say it, is already on base. However, he is one of those returners that is probably looking very eager to try and knock off this Batavia Muckdogs team. And that was a strike there from Pichardo, and the count goes 0-1. 1 out here in the top of the first. Runner on second for the Pioneers to open up the game. Pichardo sets, steals, and a swing and a miss there from Schroeder, and the count goes 0-2 now. Blake with a healthy lead off of second. Pichardo doesn't even look over to Blake at all. Now he does, actually. Sets, fires, and it's swung on, driven into the gap in left field, and that'll be a base hit for John Schroeder, and a single now with runners on the corners for the Pioneers already here in the top of the first inning. And now that'll bring up the RBI man himself, batting fourth, number 47, Ray Hernandez. And there's a reason why I called him the RBI man. It's because he had 3 last night on 4 hits and a perfect 4-for-4 at-bats for Ray Hernandez last night. A fantastic performance in the home opener. And now the RBI man with a chance to do it again tonight here at the top of the first, already bringing a run for the Pioneers with still only 1 out here in the top of the first. Hernandez, a 6-foot junior infielder from St. Thomas University in Miami. Pichardo sets, deals, and that's right down Broadway for strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. Pichardo's gotten ahead of these counts a lot of times here against the Pioneers early already. However, he has not been able to convert so far. No strikeouts for him and 2 runners on the corners. Pichardo sets and checks over to first to Schroeder. However, Schroeder is back in time and well safe at first. Pichardo now going over things with his catcher, Mortellaro. Pichardo sets, fires, and that one is called strike 2 right down the center again. Count now 0-2 to Ray Hernandez. Let's see whether Pichardo can't get his first strikeout here. He's gotten some 0-2 counts against Blake and Schroeder and even Gingrich. However, he has not been able to get one so far. And checks over to Schroeder again, and that's a wild pitch, and that'll bring in a run for the Pioneers on an errant throw from Pichardo, and Aiden Blake will score, and the Pioneers are already up 1-0. And now Schroeder is over at second, and the Pioneers lead 1-0 here at the top of the first with 1 away. Schroeder at second. Ray Hernandez still up at the plate. It's an 0-2 count to Hernandez. And that is a big mistake there by Pichardo. He could not get on the same page as Henry Daniels. And because of that miscue, Aiden Blake is allowed to walk home. And Pichardo sets and throws, and that one is down low in the dirt. And the catcher, Mortellaro, just able to come up with it and keep that one from being a wild pitch as well. And now, Pioneers certainly in business here with a runner on second, John Schroeder. Ray Hernandez, the RBI man, still at the plate. 1-2 count. Pichardo checks over to Schroeder. Sets, fires, and that one is way too inside, and that'll be ball 2. And the count now even at 2-2. The sound effects of the dog growling here in Batavia. This crowd certainly rowdy already. However, they have been pretty far silent so far as the Pioneers have an early 1-0 lead. Pichardo sets, steals, and that one is outside, and the count goes full now, 3-2. The Pioneers doing exactly what they did to Preston Prince and last night in the home opener. They did a great job of making sure that all their batters got all the way to full counts or to 2-2 counts before anything happened. And once again, that's a common theme in tonight's game so far. 3-2 now to the RBI man, Ray Hernandez. Pichardo sets, steals, and a swing and a miss from Ray Hernandez. And Hernandez goes down swinging. And that'll be now 2 away here in the top of the first. And that'll bring up number 33, Kevin Noss, batting in the 5th position, the left fielder tonight. Noss in his first start so far this season, the 5'10", 190 sophomore outfielder from Montgomery College, teammates with pitcher Kevin Serrano. Pichardo sets, steals, and that one is up and away for ball 1. Noss this past season for the Raptors had 44 games played, 344 batting average, 32 runs, 54 hits, and 38 RBIs, along with 1 home run. A fantastic season for him. Pichardo sets, steals, and that is called strike 1. And the count now even at 1-1. Pichardo once again looks over to Schroeder. Sets, fires, and that one is swung on and fouled off. And the count goes 1-2 now to Noss. However, Rodriguez and Arcuri, who are playing the shortstop and second baseman for Batavia, neither one of them has made a play on Schroeder at second. Neither of them have come across, even though Schroeder does very much have a healthy lead off second, as he's about a 5th of the way already to third. Pichardo looks over to Schroeder. Sets, fires, Schroeder stealing third, swing and a miss from Noss, and Schroeder will be called safe at third. However, the out will become on a strikeout from Kevin Noss as he went down swinging, and that'll end the top of the first inning. Now, my Pioneers already with a 1-0 lead. Will be back for the bottom of the first right after this.
Owned and operated since 1905 at the Hilliard Corporation. We've proven ourselves time and time again as the leading industrial manufacturer in the Elmira and Southern Tier region. We make the products you need with the quality you and your business deserve. Industrial clutches and brakes, drivetrain products, filtration equipment, engine starters, braking systems. We engineer, manufacture, and distribute them. All of the products we manufacture are designed right here, so we truly know the products we provide for you, inside and out. Owned and operated since 1905 at the Hilliard Corporation. We've proven ourselves time and time again as the leading industrial manufacturer in the Elmira and Southern Tier region. We make the products you need with the quality you and your business deserve. Industrial clutches and brakes, drivetrain products, filtration equipment, engine starters, braking systems. We engineer, manufacture, and distribute them.
Welcome back to the Elmira Pioneers live stream. We're in the bottom of the first here, and we get our first look at Max Gentile, the Canadian Cannon, 6'4", 200 pounds, sophomore pitcher out of the University of Ottawa, the Geegees. And yes, that is Geegee. And his hometown of Toronto, Ontario, the only Canadian player on this Pioneers roster. And he will make his first start tonight. In the rest of the outfield for the Elmira Pioneers, quickly, in left field it'll be Kevin Noss. In center field it'll be Weston Gingrich. In right field it'll be the hometown fan favorite Eric Charnetsky. In shortstop it'll be number 2 Dom Presto. In second base it'll be Nick Pisaccia. In third baseman it'll be Nick Montagna. First base it'll be Matthew Frazetta. And behind the plate it'll be John Schroeder tonight as the catcher. The first batter for Batavia will be number 32, Rashad Robinson. We saw him last night in the home opener. He will be the extra hitter tonight for the Batavia Muckdogs. Gentile deals, and it's immediately fouled off over to third. Montagna makes the throw over to first in time for the first out, and that is a one pitch, one out for Max Gentile in his first starter. For Zeta able to make the play at first. And now this will bring up the number 2 batter for the Batavia Muckdogs, number 16, Josh Ledham, the right fielder. We saw him last night in the home opener, back at right field for a second straight start tonight. Gentile deals, and that is down low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Pioneers already with a 1-0 lead here early. Gentile deals, and that's lined over to first, and Frazetta will make the play himself in time, and that'll be a ground out for the second out of the inning. And Gentile with 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first. And now that'll bring up the third batter for the Batavia Muckdogs, number 18, Anthony Calabro. We saw Calabro in center field last night in the home opener for the Pioneers, and now he is back in center field tonight for the Batavia Muckdogs. Gentile waits, sets, fires, and that is a called strike 1 right down Broadway. Calabro out of the University of West Georgia as Gentile fires, and that's a swing and a miss from Calabro, and the count goes 0-2 now. University of West Georgia D2 Player of the Year candidate last year, a .419 batting average, .744 slugging percentage, and 14 home runs. Gentile sets, fires, and a swing and a miss. First strikeout of the night for Max Gentile, and that'll end the inning. A 1-2-3, bottom of the first for Max Gentile. We go to the top of the second right after this.
My father, and he started Bully Hill Vineyards in 1967. My father had a vision for the Finger Lakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm, from where these hybrid varietals have made their way to almost all 50 states. As we become more environmentally conscious.
Welcome back to the Elmira Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the second here. The Elmira Pioneers already have a 1-0 lead, and it'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters up for the Pioneers, and the leadoff man this inning will be number 2, Dom Presto, the shortstop. We saw Presto last night in the home opener, a .667 batting average off of that game. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 RBI, and 1 strikeout for him last night. 5'11", 185, sophomore infielder from Florida Atlantic University, and his hometown is Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. The Pioneers already up with an early lead as they scored 1 run in the top of the first inning already in this game. However, they also had an early lead in last night's game before the Batavia Muckdogs tightened it up later in the innings, so we're going to have to see whether this lead sticks. However, the Pioneers now with a chance to extend that lead in this top of the inning. And now as we wait for Presto to step into the batter's box. And there's a bit of a promotion now as there are some kids doing dizzy bat spins. And the first one to run over to the side will be the winner. So a bit of a delay here as we have to wait for the on-field promotion to conclude before play can be resumed. And now, as the batting experience has been concluded, now we'll get back to actual baseball now.
Batting sixth for Elmira, number 2, the shortstop, Dom Presto.
Presto now settles into the batter's box. Pichardo sets, delivers, and it's swung on all the way to the third baseman who dropped it for a second, throws over to first in time. Henry Daniels makes the play, and that is a 1-pitch, 1-out here in the top of the second inning.
Batting seventh for Elmira.
And now that'll bring up number 44, Matthew Frazetta, the 7th batter here in the Pioneers batting order, and he will also be playing first base tonight for the Pioneers, making his first start. Frazetta at a Seton Hill University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, being his hometown, 6'3", 200. As Pichardo deals, and it's swing and a miss there from Frazetta for strike 1. He also had 10 games played this season for the Griffins, 111 batting average, 1 run, 1 hit, and 4 RBIs. As Pichardo sets, fires, and that one is just a little bit inside, and the count evens up at aces wild. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the second. Pichardo looks, sets, fires, and that one is called strike 2 right down Broadway. Pichardo, 2 strikeouts so far. Looking to try and pick up his 3rd K right here. Pichardo sets, deals, and that one is down low in the dirt, and the count evens up 2-2. Pichardo looks, agrees with Mortellaro, sets, fires, and that one is called strike 3, and that's his 3rd K of the day for Julian Pichardo. Picks up his 3rd K, and that'll bring up the 8th batter in the Pioneers lineup, number 22, Nick Bisaccia, the 2nd baseman. Bisaccia also making his first start of his Pioneers career tonight. The freshman infielder from Seton Hall University in New Providence, New Jersey, his hometown. He played 4 games for the Pirates this past season. As that is called strike 1 from Pichardo. He had a .375 batting average with 3 hits in the season. Pichardo sets, delivers, and that one is ball up high for ball 1, and the count evens out 1-1. Still a 1-0 ball game here in the top of the second, 2 outs. Pichardo sets, fires, and that's called strike 2, and the count now 1-2 to Nick Bisaccia. Bisaccia will be the 2nd baseman for the Pioneers tonight. Pichardo looks, sets, deals, and that's swung on all the way to the shortstop, Rodriguez, and he cannot field it, and that'll be a base hit single for Nick Bisaccia here to keep the Pioneers alive in the top of the second with 2 outs. And now that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, number 40, Nick Montagna, making his first start tonight. Nick Montagna making his first start tonight for the Pioneers. He'll be playing 3rd base on defense. 6'0", 6 foot, 175, sophomore infielder from Quinnipiac University and Holmes, New York being his hometown. He made 5 games played for the Bobcats this past season, a .200 batting average with 1 hit and 1 RBI. There's a bit of a stoppage here as it looks like the head manager for the Batavia Muckdogs, Skip, has come out to talk with his shortstop. And his shortstop would be Rodriguez. Rodriguez now comes back. And I think that was just to discuss his previous error. However, it was not recorded as an error. It was recorded as a base hit for Bisaccia. However, had he fielded that cleanly, he probably could have made the throw to first in time. Pichardo waits, sets, deals, and that one is down low, ball 1. Pichardo looks over to Bisaccia on first. And that will set fire. Bisaccia will try and steal second. A hit based off past the second baseman. And Bisaccia will reach second. He could have gotten to third had he not had to tag the base and go back for it. However, that'll be a single for Nick Montagna with 2 outs here in the top of the second to keep the Pioneers alive. And now that'll bring up the 10th batter in the Pioneers lineup, the fan favorite, the hometown boy, Eric Charnetsky, the right fielder tonight. Charnetsky making his first start for the Pioneers this season, was a returner from last season, one of the returners I mentioned who would love to take down this Batavia Muckdogs team. Charnetsky is 6 foot, 215 junior outfielder. Pichardo fires, and that one is down low for ball 1. Charnetsky recently transferred from St. John Fisher College to now Elmira College, coming back home to his hometown of Elmira to finish out his college career. Pichardo checks over to Bisaccia on second. And now the second baseman, or Curry, runs over to perhaps do a check down. However, nothing is thrown. Pichardo looks over to Bisaccia again, sets, fires, and it's swung on, weak foul near side, and it's all the way over, and the play is made by Daniels back to Pichardo himself at first, and that'll end the top of the second inning. No runs for the Pioneers, but still a 1-0 lead here for the Pioneers as we go to the bottom of the second right after this.
United States. My great-grandfather had passed away, and my grandfather Grayton and his 2 brothers Fred and Clarence took over the company, at its peak producing around 40 million gallons of wine a year. Grayton had a son, Walter, who was my father, and he started Bully Hill Vineyards in 1967. My father had a vision for the Finger Lakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm from where these hybrid varietals.
Welcome back here to the bottom of the second as the Elmira Pioneers are taking on the Batavia Muckdogs. They currently lead the Muckdogs 1-0. The Pioneers do. Max Zentiel will be back on the mound. So far, no hits given up for Zentiel so far. And now it'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Batavia Muckdogs that he will have to contend with this inning. The leadoff man this inning will be number 33, Henry Daniels, the first baseman. We saw Daniels in the home opener back in Elmira last night. He's a 6'5" junior first baseman with a .343 batting average, .641 slugging percentage, and his hometown is Norman Park, Georgia. He's also a lefty, left-handed hitter and thrower.
Now batting for the Muckdogs, number 33, the first baseman, Henry Daniels.
Daniels to face Zintiel for the first time. So far, Zintiel has allowed a line out, a ground out, and that will be chopped just foul on the very first pitch from Zintiel, and that'll be strike one. And the crowd here in Batavia, very full stadium tonight. Almost every seat in the stadium taken up. Packed house tonight for the home opener. Zintiel sets, fires, and that one is low outside. Ball one. Count now evens up at 1-1. No outs here in the bottom of the second. Zintiel sets, fires, and that's swung on, driven left field side. And that will be made the play by Kevin Noss. Noss going all the way back to the warning track to get that out. However, he doesn't make that catch. And that's one away here for Zintiel in the bottom of the second. And now that'll bring up the number 5 hitter, number 88, Giuseppe Arcuri, the second baseman. We saw Giuseppe Arcuri last night in the home opener back in Elmira. Not much of these lineups for either team have actually changed from last night to tonight. And that will be ball one down low from Zintiel. Giuseppe Arcuri from St. Leo University, a 934 OPS and a 283 batting average. Zintiel sets, fires, and a swing and a miss from Arcuri. And now the count is aces wild. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Zintiel sets, delivers, and a swing, and it's chopped foul. And the count will go to 1-2. And now the fans stomping their feet here for Giuseppe Arcuri. Muckdogs trying to get something going against the Canadian Cannon. It's a swing and a miss. Zintiel gets him to go fishing, and that's his second strikeout of the game. And now 2 are away here in the bottom of the second, and that'll bring up the number 6 batter, number 44, Bryce Mordilaro, the catcher. Bryce Mordilaro, one of the new additions for this Batavia Muckdogs lineup. It'll be Bryce from Georgia Southwestern University, a 432 on-base percentage, and a 745 slugging percentage. And he has never made an error in his college career as he pops the first pitch from Zintiel up foul. And the count now 1-1. And the requisite goat scream sound effect from the press box. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Pioneers still lead 1-0. Zintiel sets, fires, and that one is down low, ball 2. Zintiel sets, fires, and that one is outside, ball 3. Zintiel has been flawless so far, not giving up a single hit, and 2 Ks to his tally so far. However, in danger of giving up his first base runner. Zintiel sets, fires, and it's chopped right back up to the shortstop. Presto over to first in time and for Zeta, and that'll end the inning. And the Pioneers escape with no damage. And it goes to the top of the third. Right after this, Pioneers still lead 1-0.
Owned and operated since 1905. At the Hilliard Corporation, we've proven ourselves time and time again as the leading industrial manufacturer in the Elmira and Southern Tier region. We make the products you need with the quality you and your business deserve. Industrial clutches and brakes, drivetrain products, filtration equipment, engine starters, braking systems. We engineer, manufacture, and distribute them. All of the products we manufacture are designed right here, so we truly know the products we provide for you, inside and out. On top of being an industrial manufacturer, at the Hilliard Corporation we also serve as a weld shop and machine shop. We specialize in creating custom parts and pieces to fit particular and
Welcome back here to the Elmira Pioneers live stream. The Pioneers currently lead the Batavia Muckdogs 1-0 as we get set for the top of the third inning here. And we go back to the top of the lineup to the leadoff man, Weston Gingrich, number 4, the center fielder. In his first at-bat against Pichardo, he flew out. And it'll be 1, 2, and 3 batters for the Pioneers up in this inning, the top of the order. Pichardo with 3 strikeouts already in this game.
Hey fans, we're requiring everyone's attention on this. If your car is parked in the back lot on the grass next to the playground, you must move your car. Your vehicle is in the way of the fireworks show. Your vehicle will be towed. Back lot next to the gardens and park will be towed. We'll give you some license plate numbers in just a little bit.
Weston Gingrich started in center field last night for the Pioneers. 250 batting average, 3 runs, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout last night. As Pichardo sets and deals for a strike 1 right down Broadway. Gingrich, a 5'10", 160, redshirt sophomore outfielder from Purdue University in his hometown of Carmel, Indiana. Count now 0-1 as Pichardo sets, deals, and that's chopped fair over to the second baseman who can barely make the play. However, he's called safe. And Weston Gingrich with a leadoff single here in the top of the third for the Pioneers. And that was Arcuri who could not make the play at second. Giuseppe Arcuri it chopped right to him almost. He didn't have to go very far in order to make the play. However, he could not field it cleanly off the dirt and get it over to his first baseman Daniels in time, and now that'll bring back up number 9 Aiden Blake, the 2-hitter here, the designated hitter tonight, as he was last night in the home opener in Elmira. He doubled in his first at-bat against Pichardo in this game. Pichardo sets, deals, and a swing and a miss from Aiden Blake. Aiden Blake, the only run scored from the Pioneers so far, and that was in the back in the top of the first as Pichardo checks over to Gingrich on first. Pioneers still lead 1-0 here, top of the third inning. It's been a relatively fast-paced game so far, as we're only about 45 minutes in, and we're already at the top of the third. Pichardo sets, deals, and that's called strike 2. Just to the outside a little bit, but enough to catch the edge of the strike zone. 0-2 now, the count to Blake. Now Pichardo looks over to Gingrich on first. Checks over to him again. Gingrich able to scramble back in time. That's 2 pitches in a row now. He's checked over to Gingrich. Once again, we'll look over to him on first base. Pichardo will set, fire, and then swung on foul, pop-up. However, Gingrich has gone to second, and the first baseman, Henry Daniels, will make the play and go over to Pichardo for a double play as Gingrich could not get back in time. Gingrich had gone to second base in order to try and steal a base, but because the pitch was hit foul, he had to come back anyway, and Pichardo was able to scramble over there, and Daniels gave it to him, and that'll be a double play, a 1-3 double play for the Batavia Muckdogs there. And now 2 are away here in the top of the third, and that'll bring up the number 3 batter, John Schroeder, number 10, the catcher tonight. He singled in his first at-bat in the first inning against Pichardo. Pichardo sets, steals, and that one's up and away for ball 1. Pichardo sets, fires, and that one is outside. Ball 2. 2-0 the count now to Schroeder. Pichardo confirming the call with Mortellaro behind the plate. Sets, deals, and it's swung on, popped up left field side, and it is foul, and it will go out of play as DiStefano, was cut off by the railing and could not make the play over. However, the count now goes to 2-1 to Schroeder. And the fans stomping their feet here in Batavia, rooting on Pichardo, trying to get him out of this inning. Still only a 1-0 game here in the top of the third. Pichardo sets, delivers, and that is called strike 2. And the count now even. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the third. Pichardo sets, fires, and that one is down low. Ball 3, and the count now full 3-2. Pichardo with 3 strikeouts already in this game. Trying to find a payoff pitch here. Swung on, foul, and Schroeder's able to foul it off to stay alive here in the top of the third. Schroeder was playing first base in last night's home opener back in Elmira, the catcher tonight. Pichardo sets, fires, and that one is called strike 3 right down Broadway. Pichardo picks up his 4th strikeout of the inning and escapes with no runs scored. It's still a 1-0 ball game as we go to the bottom of the third right after this. Welcome back to the MI Pioneers live stream here in the bottom of the third inning. Max Gentile back on the mound for the MI Pioneers. No hits allowed for him so far. 2 Ks to his tallies and a bunch of ground out and line outs so far. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 batters for the Batavia Muckdogs in this inning. And first up, it'll be number 24, Victor Alongi, the third baseman.
Now batting for the Muckdogs, number 24, the third baseman, Victor Alongi.
Alongi. Gentile swing, and it's popped up left field side. Going back for it is Frazetta. Versace able to come across from the second baseman position and come over and make the play for the first out of the inning. And that'll still be a hitless game so far for the Batavia Muckdogs. The no-hitter intact for Gentile. And now it'll be the 8th place hitter in the Batavia Muckdogs order, number 45, Matt DeStefano, the left fielder tonight. DeStefano we saw as a pinch runner last night in the home opener back in Elmira, as the first one from Gentile is down low for ball 1. And it is once again ball 2 down low to DeStefano. DeStefano, perfect fielding percentage last year. As that one is down low, ball 3 now and 3-0. And that is a called strike 1 from Gentile. And the count now at 3-1. Gentile still with not allowing a base runner for the Batavia Muckdogs so far in this game. In danger of it now. Gentile fires and it goes over to the third baseman. Montagna over to first and Frazetta in time. And that is called out for out number 2. And a ground out there. And once again, Gentile able to escape a 3-1 count. The second time he's done that so far. Not allowed a single base runner, much less a base hit for the Batavia Muckdogs so far. And now it'll be Galvin Sims Jr. up for the Batavia Muckdogs. He ranked at the beginning of the season top 500 JUCO guy and top 150 Jackson State Community College. In his senior high school season, he had a 500 batting average, 624 on base percentage, and 34 RBIs. As it's already a 1-0 count to Sims. Gentile deals, and that is chopped foul all the way out of play and over behind the dugout even, and above the bleachers. Count now 1-1. Two outs here in the bottom of the third. Pioneers still lead the game 1-0 on an Aiden Blake run. And that one is down low from Gentile. 2-1 now the count. And the consistent sound effect of the Darth Vader saying no every time Gentile throws a ball. Gentile now sets, delivers, and it's swung on, chopped over to the third baseman. Montagna over to first, and Frazetta in time for the third out of the inning. And once again, a hitless inning for Gentile. And we go to the top of the fourth. Pioneers still lead it 1-0.
Senior. They came up to this region for the promise of a better life due to the rising wine industry on Keuka Lake. Walter Taylor was the one who first started the Taylor Wine Company. The Taylor Wine Company was one of the largest wineries in the United States. My great-grandfather had passed away, and my grandfather Grayton and his two brothers Fred and Clarence took over the company at its peak, producing around 40 million gallons of wine a year. Grayton had a son, Walter, who was my father, and he started Bully Hill Vineyards in 1967. My father had a vision for the Finger Lakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm, from where these hybrid varietals have made their way to almost all 50 states. As we become more environmentally conscious, we're looking for agricultural solutions that have less impact on the environment. Now, the French hybrids that my grandfather brought over in the 1950s already solved this problem ahead of time. They take half the amount of fungicide, and that was the backbone of what built Bully Hill, the French-American hybrids. My dad firmly believed that a product is an extension of a person's soul, and we still adhere to that today at Bully Hill Vineyards. His memory and his vision is still seen around the Finger Lakes. Here at Bully Hill, we're excited about the future and sharing this experience with you. Bully for you.
Welcome back here to the Elmira Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the fourth inning. The Pioneers still lead it 1-0. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, the middle of the order for the Pioneers, up to bat in this inning. And lead off for this inning will be the RBI man himself, Ray Hernandez, number 47. He struck out in his first at-bat against Pichardo in the first inning. Pichardo sets, delivers, and it's swung on, driven deep right field, going all the way back to the warning track, to the wall. It is gone! A solo home run for Ray Hernandez to lead off the top of the fourth inning for the Pioneers, and they now lead it 2-0. And the first home run of the season for the Pioneers goes to Ray Hernandez, the RBI man. What a massive momentum swing for the Pioneers. Ray Hernandez delivers the first home run of the season, and what a time to do it in the top of the fourth inning. And now the Pioneers up 2-0 against the Batavia Muckdogs, and that'll bring up the fifth batter in the order, number 33, Kevin Noss, the left fielder. He also struck out against Pichardo in his first at-bat back in the first inning. Pichardo sets, steals, and that one is called strike one to Noss. Pichardo now sets, deals, and that is swung right back to Pichardo himself. Noss not able to run it out in time, and that'll be thrown over to Daniels for an easy out. And now this will bring up the sixth batter in the Pioneers order, number 2, Dom Presto, the shortstop. He lined out in his first at-bat tonight against Pichardo in the first inning. Even though the score does say 2-0, a very much pitcher duel type matchup so far throughout this game, as that is strike one from Pichardo. Ray Hernandez delivering the first home run of the season earlier in this inning. It came very early. And there is the pitch from Pichardo, and that's called strike 2. There were only 4 home runs for the entire season from the Pioneers last season. And the first one of the season this year comes in the second game of the year. And now Pichardo sets, delivers, and that one is called strike 3. His 5th strikeout of the night. Pichardo ends the top of the fourth, or excuse me, that is just 2 away now in the top of the fourth. 2 outs here, and that'll bring up the 7th batter in the order, number 44, Matt Frazetta, the first baseman. He struck out in his first at-bat against Pichardo earlier in the first inning. Pichardo sets, steals, and that one is down low, ball 1. Pichardo now waits, sets, fires. Once again down low, ball 2 now. 2-0 the count. A very cool, crisp night here in Batavia. As the sun sets. Pichardo sets, steals, Frazetta swings, and is chopped over to the shortstop. And he throws it all the way back to Henry Daniels at first for the out. And that'll end the inning. In the top of the fourth, Ray Hernandez delivers the first home run of the year. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. Pioneers now up 2-0 right after this.
operated since 1905. At the Hilliard Corporation, we've proven ourselves time and time again as the leading industrial manufacturer in the Elmira and Southern Tier region. We make the products you need with the quality you and your business deserve. Industrial clutches and brakes, drivetrain products, filtration equipment, engine starters, braking systems. We engineer, manufacture, and distribute them.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. In the bottom of the 4th inning, the Pioneers still lead the Batavia Muckdogs 2-0 here. It'll be the 10th batter in the lineup for the Batavia Muckdogs. Caleb Rodriguez now up to bat. Rodriguez is playing shortstop tonight. He had a .331 batting average, 372 slugging percentage, 23 RBIs, and a .434 on-base percentage last summer. And the first pitch swung on all the way over to third, and Montagna over to first in time for the out. And that is a 1 pitch, 1 out once again for Max Zentiel. And Max Zentiel back on the mound here for the Pioneers. Still has not given up a base runner tonight for the Batavia Muckdogs. Truly a masterful performance so far through 4.1 innings. And now it'll go back to the top of the lineup for the Batavia Muckdogs, and Rashad Robinson, number 32, the extra hitter tonight. He lined out in his first at-bat on the very first pitch of the game. Zentiel swings and deals, and that is called strike 1. Count now 0-1 to Robinson. Robinson, the Bishop State transfer from the University of Memphis. And that one is outside. And now Aces Wild, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Batavia Muckdogs looking for something to get going here, as that one is chopped foul. As they still, Max Zentiel has not allowed a base runner tonight for the Batavia Muckdogs. And a masterful performance in his very first start for the Pioneers. 1-2 the count to Robinson. Zentiel sets, fires, and that one is just up and away for ball 2. And that'll even up the count. Zentiel was looking like he was looking for the call on that one to get called strike 3. However, he did not quite get it. Zentiel sets, fires, and it's swung on, chopped back over to the third baseman. Montagna once again over to Frazetta at first in time for the 2nd out of the inning. And another ground out. And now 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And that'll bring up the 2nd batter in this Batavia Muckdogs lineup, number 16, Josh Ledham, the right fielder. He grounded out in his very first at-bat against Max Zentiel. And Zentiel still having a flawless no-hitter so far through 4 innings. And a swing and a miss there from Ledham on pitch 1 from Zentiel. Zentiel now sets, fires, and that one is down low and away for ball 1. And now the count evens up 1-1. Now, Zentiel fires, and that one is swung, driven deep left field. Noss is trying to run over. It's at the wall. It is gone, and the Batavia Muckdogs have answered. Josh Ledham with a solo shot here in the bottom of the 4th, and the Batavia Muckdogs finally find themselves on the board. It's 2-1 now. Elmira Pioneers over the Muckdogs. Josh Ledham with a solo home run. And the crowd is electrified here in Batavia. They've been held quiet so far by Max Zentiel's masterful performance. However, now Josh Ledham has just applied an electric spark to this atmosphere. And now it'll bring up the number 3 batter, number 18, Anthony Calabro, the center fielder, who struck out against Zentiel in his first at-bat. Zentiel, one of Zentiel's 2 strikeouts so far tonight. And that one is called strike 1 on the first pitch from Zentiel. 2 home runs here in the 4th inning. Ray Hernandez in the top, and now Josh Ledham in the bottom of the 4th. And that'll be ball 1. and even up the count at 1-1. Gentile deals, and that one's down low in the dirt. Ball 2, count now 2-1. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Pioneers trying to get out of this inning with no further damage except for the solo shot by Josh Ledham. Gentile fires, and that one is down low and to the outside, and now it's 3-1. Gentile has not allowed a base runner so far for the Batavia Muckdogs, and he hadn't allowed a hit up until that home run by Josh Ledham. Gentile sets, fires, and a swing and a miss there. And now the count full, 3-2 here, 2 outs. A payoff pitch here for Gentile coming up. A massive opportunity for Gentile to get out of this inning right here, right now. Gentile looks, sets, fires, and that is ball 4 and the first walk of the night for the Batavia Muckdogs. And the first base runner is Anthony Calabro on a walk from Max Gentile. And that'll bring up the 4th batter in their lineup, number 33, Henry Daniels, the first baseman.
Henry Daniels.
Daniels flew out in his first at-bat against Gentile earlier this game. Gentile sets, fires, and it's swung on, chopped over to the shortstop. Pisaccia over to first, and Frazetta in time, and that'll get out of the inning. And now a solo shot by Josh Ledham in the bottom of the 4th makes this game 2-1 Pioneers still. However, we go to the top of the 5th right after this. Welcome back here to the Elmira Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 5th inning now. It's a 2-1 ball game. Pioneers lead the Batavia Muckdogs. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters up for the Elmira Pioneers in this inning. The leadoff man will be number 44, Matt Frazetta, the first baseman. Or excuse me, it's actually going to be the 8, 9, and 10 hitters for the Pioneers, as that one is now going to be Nick Bisaccia up. Number 22, the second baseman, actually is now up. Nick Bisaccia singled in his first at-bat against Pichardo earlier in this game. Pioneers trying to add some more runs to their lead right now, as it has been chopped down to 1 run by the solo home run, of Josh Ledham in the bottom of the 4th. And that is down low, ball 1 to Bisaccia. And now, Pichardo sets, fires, and that is a swing and a miss there from Bisaccia, and the count evens up at 1-1. This crowd, a packed house tonight here at Batavia for the home opener. Fireworks will be presented after the game. Pichardo deals, and that one is down low for ball 2, and the count now 2-1. Bisaccia trying to get on base here, just to get the Pioneers started here with no outs here in the top of the 5th. Pichardo sets, fires, and swung on right to the shortstop, and that'll be a great play there by Rodriguez as he jumped up and grabbed it with one hand and snatched a base hit away from Nick Bisaccia. And now it'll be the number 9 batter, number 40, Nick Montagna, the third baseman up. He singled in his first at-bat against Pichardo earlier in this game. Pichardo confers with Mortellaro. Sets, fires, and that one is called strike one. Montagna. Pichardo sets, fires, and that one is called strike one there. Or excuse me, that is actually ball one, and that will make the count aces while 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Pichardo sets, delivers, and that one is once again down low. Ball 2, and the count now 2-1. Nick ahead of the count now. Here against Pichardo. Pichardo sets, fires, and that one is swung on, and it goes way foul up and over the bleachers and out into the parking lot. I hope nobody's cars were damaged in that process, and now the count goes 2-2. Pichardo sets, delivers, and it's swung on, driven deep left center field. The left fielder, DeStefanto, comes over and makes the play. DeStefanto gets the second out of the inning of a Nick Montagna fly out. And now that'll bring up the number 10 batter, number 24, Eric Charnetsky, the right fielder. Charnetsky lined out in his first at-bat against Pichardo earlier in this game.
Now batting number 24, the right fielder, Eric Charnetsky.
Charnetsky, the hometown boy from Elmira, New York, now going to Elmira College after recently transferring there. Pichardo sets, fires, and that one is called strike one right down Broadway. Pichardo waits, sets, delivers, and that one is down low and away. Ball 1. And the count now evens up 1-1. Pioneers still lead 2-1 here off of a Ray Hernandez solo shot in the top of the 4th. Josh Ledham answered with a solo shot of his own in the bottom of the 4th for the Muckdogs, which is how we got to 2-1 after an Aiden Blake run was scored in the top of the 1st, excuse me, as that is ball 2 from Pichardo, down low and inside. Charnetsky waits for the delivery from Pichardo. And that is up and inside. Ball 3 now. 3-1 the count. The first potential walk of the night from Pichardo. Pichardo has not walked anyone up to this point. However, that could very well change. Pichardo sets, deals, and that hits Charnetsky, and that is a hit by pitch walk. And now that will be a base runner for the Pioneers here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. And now that we will go back to the top of the lineup now to Weston Gingrich, number 4, the center fielder, the leadoff man. He flew out in his first at-bat against Pichardo and then singled in his second at-bat. Gingrich last night in the Elmira home opener, 3 runs, 1 hit. As Pichardo deals, Gingrich showed bunt, and that went just fair, and that will advance the runners, or excuse me, that one just rolled foul. It was right on the line. Very hard to tell which way that was going to go. However, it just rolled foul by a couple inches. And that will be strike 1 to Gingrich. Gingrich now awaits from Pichardo. 0-1 count, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. A 2-1 ball game. Pioneers still lead it. Pichardo sets, deals, and that one is inside for ball 1. Count now evens up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Pichardo sets, deals, and that one is in outside this time for ball 2, and the count now 2-1. Weston now ahead of the count against Pichardo. And the crowd starting to clap their hands now as Pichardo deals, and that is right up the center field gap, and that will be a base hit for Weston Gingrich, and a 2-out base hit now to advance Charnetsky to second base and get him on first base now. Runners on first and second here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th for the Pioneers, and now that'll bring up the second batter in the order, number 9, Aiden Blake, the designated hitter. He doubled in his first at-bat to start the game, and then flew out in his second at-bat just a couple innings ago. Now Pichardo looks over to Charnetsky at second. The second baseman, Curry, walks away as he deals down low in the dirt for ball 1. And it was a lucky play there by Mortellaro in order to keep that one in front of him. As if it goes behind him, Charnetsky would have been able to advance to third. 1-0 the count still. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Pichardo looks over to Charnetsky, sets, fires, and that is a check swing there. However, still a called strike from Pichardo, and the count now evens up 1 ball, 1 strike. Blake now looking to drive in one of these runners with potentially an RBI double, or just to get on base himself to load the bases potentially for John Schroeder coming up after him. However, there is always danger with 2 outs. Charnetsky with a big lead as Pichardo deals, swing and a miss from Aiden Blake. And the count now goes in Pichardo's favor, 1-2. Charnetsky had a really big lead off of second base there before that last pitch. I thought Curry might come over and try and make a play on him to try and get the throw out. However, he did not do that. Pichardo once again looks over to him, and the umpire gives time to Aiden Blake as he steps out of the batter's box. Blake now re-enters, and the runners reset their leads. Gingrich off first, Charnetsky off second. Curry shadowing second base for a potential throw out. Pichardo looks that way, and Curry backs off. Pichardo sets, deals, and a swing and a miss from Aiden Blake, and that is the 6th strikeout for Pichardo, and he will escape the inning. The top of the 5th, no run scored for the Pioneers. However, they still lead it 2-1, and we go to the bottom of the 5th right after this. welcome back to the Elmira Pioneers live stream here. As the Elmira Pioneers currently lead the Batavia Muckdogs 2-1 here in the top of the 6th inning, or excuse me, the bottom of the 5th inning here. Max Gentile retakes the mound for the Pioneers, only allowed 1 hit and 1 run so far in this game off of his solo home run shot off of Josh Ledham. However, now it'll be number 88, Giuseppe Arcuri, who swings and misses at Gentile's first pitch. Arcuri struck out in his first at-bat against Gentile earlier in this game. 0-1 the count now, no outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Swing and a miss from Arcuri again, and the count goes to 0-2 in Gentile's favor. Gentile well out of front of Arcuri now. Gentile sets, fires, and it's called strike 3. Struck him out, and that'll pick up his 3rd strikeout of the night for Max Gentile. And that'll bring up the 6th batter in the Muckdogs order. Number 44, Bryce Mortellaro, the catcher. Mortellaro lined out in his first at-bat against Gentile, as there's now 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Gentile fires, and a swing and a miss from Mortellaro. And once again, Gentile gets ahead of the count 0-1. Gentile sets, fires, and it's called strike 2. Gentile is on fire right now. Gentile in his first start for the Pioneers, masterful so far in this game. Gentile sets, fires, and it's chopped foul. Just able to stay alive as Mortellaro, and that one will go up and over the bleachers. Gentile completely unfazed by this crowd. I talked to head coach and manager Andrew Drum before the game, asked him if he was going to preach anything to his players about blocking out distractions from this hostile environment in Batavia, as that is ball 1 down low. And he said that they really just need to block him out, and so far, I think the player that has done the best job of that so far for the Pioneers has been Max Gentile. He has been cool, calm, and collected this entire game and has been on fire. And that is swung on right to the second baseman. Bisaccia throws over to Frazetta for first and the 2nd out of the inning. And that will be the 2nd out of the inning. And now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th for the Pioneers. And that'll bring up the 7th batter in the Muckdogs order. Number 24, Victor Alongi.
Number 24, the 3rd baseman, Victor Alongi.
Alongi flew out in his first at-bat against Gentile earlier in this game as he chops one foul in his first pitch thrown from Gentile. Gentile, the only Canadian player on this Pioneers roster, doing a great job of being cool, calm, and collected, showing no signs of stress or wear and tear at all. Gentile fires, and that one is just to the outside, ball 1. Count now evens up at 1-1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Pioneers still lead it 2-1 over the Western Division champion, Batavia Muckdogs. And that one is called strike 2, and Gentile out in front of the count now. The Pioneers trying to now go in this game 2-0 to start the year, and 2-0 against the Muckdogs, which would tie their season win total from last year against this team. A swing and a miss there. Gentile gets him to go down swinging, and his 4th strikeout of the game will end the inning, and we go to the top of the 6th. Pioneers still lead it 2-1.
Only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm, from where these hybrid varietals have made their way to almost all 50 states. As we become more environmentally conscious, we're looking for agricultural solutions that have less impact on the environment. Now, the French hybrids that my grandfather brought over in the 1950s already solved this problem ahead of time. They take half the amount of fungicide, and that was the backbone of what built Bully Hill, the French-American hybrids. My dad firmly believed that a product is an extension of a person's soul, and we still adhere to that today at Bully Hill Vineyards. His memory and his vision is still seen around the Finger Lakes. Here at Bully Hill, we're excited about the future and sharing this experience with you. Bully for you.
I was actually a passenger on the bus. Sitting on the bus, I looked up and I saw we are hiring. So I called up the number, I came in for an interview, and I started driving. My name is Randy Ramnarayan. I'm the Director of Transportation here at TransDev, and I've been here on property for 16 years. People come up to you and say, hey, I remember you as an operator, and you did this for me, and it just overwhelms me, and it makes me so joyful to know that I made a difference. Everyone from the CEO, COO, all the way down.
Welcome back here to the Elmira Pioneers live stream. We're at the top of the 6th inning here. Pioneers still lead it 2-1 over the Muckdogs, and it'll be number 10, John Schroeder, the catcher, who will lead it off here for the Pioneers. He singled in his first at-bat in this game and then was struck out by Pichardo in his second at-bat. Pichardo is still on the mound for the Muckdogs so far. He has been really, really good for the Muckdogs so far, even though he did allow a solo shot by Hernandez. That one is grounded over to the second baseman and over to Daniels in time, and that'll be the first out of the inning for Schroeder, or excuse me, for Pichardo. And now that'll bring up the RBI man himself, the man who gave the Pioneers their first home run of the season earlier in the top of the 4th inning. Number 47, Ray Hernandez, the extra hitter tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat and homered in his second. Pichardo deals, and it's swung on, chopped foul, and that'll be strike one. Pichardo now waits, sets, delivers, and it's swung on once again, foul, and the count goes 0-2. Sun just about to set here in Batavia. The stadium lights are coming on a cool and crisp night, a perfect night for baseball. Not too hot and not too cold, just where you want it. 0-2 count to Hernandez. Time was granted by the umpire. Hernandez now re-enters. Pichardo sets, fires, swung on, and once again foul, and Hernandez stays alive, and the count sticks at 0-2. Pichardo still only giving up 2 runs so far. However, a lot of hits so far given up to the Pioneers. He's done a good job of getting himself out of jams. The pitch up high for ball 1, and the count now 1-2 to Hernandez. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Pioneers still lead it 2-1. Pichardo waits, sets, delivers, swung on, and foul. Hernandez doing a great job of staying alive here. Count sticks at 1-2. Hernandez and all of the Pioneers hitters, for that matter, have done a great job against both Preston Price last night in Elmira for the home opener for the Pioneers, and now tonight against Pichardo. All of them have done a great job of just staying alive, keeping themselves, and just being able to foul it off and extend at-bats to get that pitch count for their opponent's pitchers up. As Pichardo deals down low, ball 2 now, and the count now even at 2-2. Pichardo waits, sets, delivers, and that one is called strike 3. He struck him out, and that'll be his 5th strikeout of the night. Excuse me, his 6th strikeout of the night. And now 2 are away here in the top of the 6th. It'll be now the 5th batter in the Maya Pioneers order, number 33, Kevin Noss, coming up next. The left fielder, he struck out in his first at-bat and then grounded out in his second at-bat. And now, Pichardo sets, delivers, and that one is ball 1 up and away. Pichardo waits, sets, fires, and swing and a miss from Kevin Noss. And that'll even up the count 1-1. 1-1 count to Noss. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Pioneers still lead it 2-1. Pichardo sets, deals, and that one is ball 2, low and out to the outside. It does look like there is a pitcher in the bullpen for the Muckdogs, so this will potentially be Pichardo's last inning here. Trying to keep it a 2-1 ball game here as Noss tries to extend the Pioneers' lead. Pichardo deals, and it's chopped foul. And now that'll make it deuces wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. There does not appear to be anyone warming in the Elmira Pioneers bullpen, so it will probably be Maxton Teal back up on the mound for the bottom of the 6th. A very tightly contested pitchers duel type games. Both Pichardo and Gentile have been masterful. And that one will even up the count, 3-2 now. And now a massive pitch here for Pichardo, trying not to walk Kevin Noss and only concede. It would be his very first walk of the game should he walk Noss here. Pichardo obviously trying to avoid that and extend this inning. Pichardo sets, fires, and it's chopped foul by Noss. Back up here into the press box, and you can hear the baseball claying off the metal roof. Once again, like I've mentioned before on the stream, the Pioneers are doing a great job of extending at-bats. They've had a lot of 3-2, 2-2 counts in both tonight's game and last night's game in the Elmira Pioneers home opener. Pichardo sets, deals, and that one is ball, or no, it's, excuse me, called strike 3. He struck him out. His 7th strikeout of the game for Pichardo, and that'll end the top of the 6th inning. Still no run. It's still a 2-1 ball game. We go to the bottom of the 6th right after this.
Beside the steak, it made room for love. What if we've been drinking wine wrong all along, and instead wine was to be shared as a human experience with love, integrity, and hope? Hi, my name is Greg Taylor. I'm the vineyard manager and property manager of Bully Hill Vineyards, and I'm a 4th generation winemaker and 5th generation grape grower of my family. So it all started with my great-great-grandfather George and his son Walter Taylor Sr. They came up to this region for the promise of a better life due to the rising wine industry on Keuka Lake. Walter Taylor was the one who first started the Taylor Wine Company. The Taylor Wine Company was one of the largest wineries in the United States. My great-grandfather had passed away, and my grandfather Grayton and his 2 brothers Fred and Clarence took over the company at its peak, producing around 40 million gallons of wine a year. Grayton had a son, Walter, who was my father, and he started Bully Hill Vineyards in 1967. My father had a vision for the Finger Lakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm, from where these hybrid varietals have made their way to almost all 50 states. As we become more environmentally conscious, we're looking for agricultural solutions that have less impact.
Welcome back to the Elmira Pioneers live stream here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pioneers still lead it 2-1. Max Gentile back up on the mound for the Elmira Pioneers. He has pitched this entire game, only conceded 1 hit on a solo home run to Josh Ledham as the first pitch is swung on by Matt DeStefano. Throw over to first is not in time as Frazetta's leg came off the mound as Montagna over at third tried to make the throw to Frazetta at first. However, that'll be a base hit single for Matt DeStefano to lead off the inning for the Batavia Muckdogs. And now, that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, number 35, Gelvin Sims Jr., the designated hitter tonight. He grounded out in his first at-bat against Gentile earlier in this game as Gentile checked over to DeStefano, at first. This has been a fairly quick-paced game here as now we are about to approach 2 hours gone live. Gentile sets, fires, and that is swung right over to the second baseman. Goes over to shortstop and back to first in time for the double play. And that is 2 away now here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A great play there. Bisaccia Presto for Zeta. 4-6-3 double play. And the Pioneers have 2 outs now. And that'll bring up the 10th batter in this in this Muckdogs order. Number 7, Caleb Rodriguez, the shortstop. He lined out in his first at-bat against Gentile. Gentile sets, delivers, and that one is called strike 1. It still does not appear that there is anyone warming in the Pioneers bullpen, and that is going to be a hit by pitch walk on the second pitch by Gentile. And Rodriguez reaches first now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, and that'll bring us back to the top of the order for the Batavia Muckdogs and Rashad Robinson, number 32, the extra hitter. He lined out in his first at-bat and then grounded out in his second at-bat. And as I was saying right before the last at-bat, there does not appear to be anyone warming in the Pioneers bullpen, which means Gentile will probably be back up here to start the the bottom of the 7th. And that is the first pitch ball outside. Gentile has been masterful, only allowed 1 hit and 3 base runners for the entire game through 6.2 innings. Gentile deals, and that's called strike 1, and that evens up the count at 1 apiece. 1 ball, 1 strike here, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning. Pioneers still lead it 2-1. Gentile checks over to first, going over to Rodriguez. However, Rodriguez able to get back in time in order to avoid a throw out. Gentile sets, fires, and that is over. Caleb Rodriguez trying to steal second. It is not in time. That'll be a throw out. A great throw there by Schroeder from the catcher over to Presto, the shortstop, and that'll end the bottom of the 6th inning. We go to the top of the 7th. Pioneers still holding on to a 2-1 lead.
operated since 1905. At the Hilliard Corporation, we've proven ourselves time and time again as the leading industrial manufacturer in the Elmira and Southern Tier region. We make the products you need with the quality you and your business deserve. Industrial clutches and brakes, drivetrain products, filtration equipment, engine starters, braking systems. We engineer, manufacture, and distribute them. All.
Number 22, Tyler Henshaw.
There has been a pitching change here as we enter the top of the 7th inning here as the Elmira Pioneers lead the Batavia Muckdogs 2-1, and now it'll be Dom Presto up to bat for the Pioneers, and it'll be Tyler Henshaw on the mound for the Batavia Muckdogs. Henshaw from Potomac State as he deals his first pitch, a called strike one. Henshaw, a 5'10 lefty. As there's a line drive there by Presto, and it is over to the right fielder. Let him in time, and that'll be 1 out away here in the top of the 7th inning. And back to what I was saying. Henshaw has a 2.42 batting average against him, and 4-1 in 6 games started for Potomac State.
Number 44, first baseman Matt Frazetta.
And now it'll be Matt Frazetta up now to bat for the Pioneers, and this first pitch from Henshaw is down low for ball 1. And that'll be fouled off, and the count goes to 1-1 now. And now Aces Wild here, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Pioneers still lead it 2-1 here, a very narrow margin. Henshaw deals, and that one is just outside to the right. Count now it goes in Frazetta's favor, 2-1. Henshaw deals, and that's called strike 2. Count evens out at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Henshaw deals, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out of here. And that is the first strikeout for Tyler Henshaw. And now there are 2 away here in the top of the 7th. And now it'll be number 22, Nick Bisaccia, coming up to bat now for the Pioneers, the second baseman. He singled in his first at-bat and lined out in his second at-bat. Henshaw deals, and that's down low for ball 1. Henshaw waits, sets, fires, and that is called strike 1, and the count now evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs here in the in the top of the 7th inning. Pioneers still lead it 2-1. Henshaw deals, and that one is called strike 2. Count now shifts in Henshaw's favor, 1-2 now. Henshaw deals, and that one is outside. And now the count deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Henshaw sets, fires, and it's driven deep center field gap. The right fielder coming over, and let him comes over and makes the play. And that'll end the top of the 7th inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Pioneers still lead it 2-1. And now it is time that the Pioneers would like to thank their sponsors, all of their sponsors, for making this broadcast possible. AIM Independent Living, AJ Outdoors Power Sports, AI's Leasing, Arc of Chemung Schuyler, Arnott Health, Bill's Bullpen, Blaze Brockway, Bowie Electric, Buckley's Automotive, Bully Hill Vineyards, CAF USA, Chemung Canal Trust, Chemung Supply, Clemens Center, Coca-Cola, CVS Distribution, Dandy Mini Marts, Diamond Collision, Dr. Dozak, Dr. Susan Minchin, DDS, Duncan, Elm Chevy, Elmira Heat Treating, Elmira Junior Enforcers, First Transit, FM Howell, Gilbar Industries, Glove House, Guthrie, Harding's, Hero Comic Shop, Hilliard, Honeybees Made, Jubilee Foods, Just in Time, Kennedy Valve, M&T Bank, Myers RV, Papa John's, Pathways, Rodney J. Strange, Saratoga Eagles, Save a Lot, Service Masters, Serve Pro, Sheddon's Wholesale, Simon's Rockwell, Slam and Jam and Barbecue, Southern Tier Custom Fabrication, Suburban Propane, Texas Roadhouse, The Cakery, Tioga Downs, Tom South Corning, Turtle Leaf, United Healthcare, United States Air Force, United States Navy, Value Home Center, Vasco Brands, Venture Ford, Visions FCU, Ward Manufacturing, Wegmans, Wise Markets, and Wilbur Auto. Thank you to all of the Elmira Pioneer sponsors for helping and supporting the team this season. And we'll be right back for the bottom of the 7th inning right after this.
And it just overwhelms me, and it makes me so joyful to know that I made a difference. Everyone from the CEO, COO, all the way down.
A very quick inning break there, as now it is Rashad Robinson back up to the plate for the bottom of the 7th inning, and it is still Max Gentile on the mound for the Pioneers, only allowing 1 hit and 3 base runners so far for the Batavia Muckdogs. Rashad Robinson shows bunt, and he takes ball 1 up high from Gentile. Robinson lined out in his first at-bat and then grounded out in his second at-bat. Pioneers still lead the game 2-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Gentile deals, and that one is once again down low a little bit. That one looked like it was right down the center of the plate. However, the count now 2-0 to Rashad Robinson. Gentile sets, fires, and that one is a called strike 1, and the count now 2-1 to Gentile. And still, there were 5 other pitchers listed on the lineup tonight when Andrew Drum gave it to me. And Rashad Robinson shows bunt again, and he gets the bunt. However, it goes foul, and now the count is even 2-2. There were 5 pitchers listed. However, none of them are warming in the Pioneers bullpen right now. So it looks like Gentile will be staying out there. He's been masterful so far. I think Andrew Drum, the manager of the Pioneers, is just going to ride him out as long as he can go. Gentile sets, fires, and it's chopped foul by Rashad Robinson. And that one goes over the visitor locker room to the right field side. Robinson still able to stay alive here. A payoff pitch potentially for Gentile coming up. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count. Gentile fires, and that is chopped foul once again by Rashad Robinson, able to stay alive here as that goes into the crowd, and it looks like a little kid is able to pick it up. Still a 2-1 ball game here. Ray Hernandez homered in the top of the 4th inning before Josh Ledham homered for the Muckdogs in the bottom of the 4th, as that one is chopped foul once again, and that one went a bullet into the Pioneers dugout. It doesn't appear anyone was injured. However, that one was a very close call there, as all of the players whipped their heads around as that one came screaming into the dugout. Still 2-2 the count to Rashad Robinson. Gentile fires, and that one is chopped once again foul. Rashad Robinson has really been the first batter tonight that has been able to prolong at-bats against Gentile. Most of them have been ground out and lineouts tonight. Only 1 walk for Gentile so far that he's given up, besides a hit by pitch. Gentile sets, delivers, and that one is way outside, and the count now goes 3-2. I am interested to see how long head manager of the Pioneers, Andrew Drum, is willing to go with Gentile. He's done a masterful job. I think he's been fantastic tonight. However, you still have a lot of arms in your bullpen, and that is a walk. That is a 6 or 7 pitch walk there, and Rashad Robinson is now on first. And the go-ahead run now is at the plate, and Josh Ledham, number 16, the right fielder, now at bat.
Now batting for the Muckdogs, number 16, the right fielder, Josh Ledham.
And it Ledham grounded out in his first at-bat and homered in his second at-bat, the only Muckdogs run so far. Gentile deals and is down low for ball 1. And it does appear now that a pitcher is warming in the Pioneers bullpen. It looks like. I cannot see the number as he's wearing a sweatshirt right now. Gentile sets, fires, and that one is a ball and a try to throw out there by Schroeder over to first to Rosetta. However, it's not in time. And that'll be excuse me, that was a called strike. It'll be 1-1 now to Ledham. Gentile sets, fires, and Ledham showed bunt. And that'll be 3-0 now, the count. Ledham missed the bunt. And Robinson still over at first for the Batavia Muckdogs. Gentile waits, sets, and checks over to first. That almost was a wild pitch there, as Rosetta was just able to dive to his left to keep it from Robinson advancing over to second. 2-1 the count. Gentile sets, fires, and that one is ball outside. Now 3-1 the count. Gentile has not been in real trouble so far throughout this game. His first bit of it right now is Rashad Robinson will steal second on a walk, actually. So that'll be back-to-back walks for Gentile now. And now head manager Andrew Drum will come out to talk to Gentile to try and settle him down a little bit. This is his first real bit of trouble here. And the Pioneers with only a 1-run lead here. 2-1 the score so far. So the go-ahead run is now on first and Josh Ledham. And now it'll bring up Anthony Calabro, number 18, to the plate after the mound meeting. It does look like now there is a pitcher warming up in the Pioneers bullpen. Looks like it is I cannot actually tell. However, Jake Keller, one of the catchers, just went over. So I wonder if he's going to be pitching, or no, excuse me, if he's going to be catching for the pitcher. There is a pitcher now on the bullpen mound for the Pioneers. However, it is just a little bit too far away for me to see exactly who it is. However, that is in reserve just in case Gentile gets into a bit of trouble here. However, a 2-1 ball game still, so it is still very much anyone's game here in the bottom of the 7th. Calabro, the center fielder, struck out in his first at-bat against Gentile and then was walked in his second at-bat, the first walk that Gentile gave up in this game. Gentile deals and is thrown over to first, and it was a decent throw by Schroeder. However, it was up and away from Frazetta. Frazetta did a great job there of going up and grabbing that with one hand in order to prevent the runners from advancing. Robinson still at second and Ledham at first, which would represent the go-ahead run. Calabro, 1-0 count. Gentile checks over to Robinson. Gentile fires, and that one is down low and away. Ball 2. Gentile has put on a masterful performance tonight. Only one home run is the only lone run and hit that the Batavia Muckdogs have been able to get off of him. However, I wonder if Andrew Drum has let him cook a little bit too long. And once again, Calabro shows bunt. However, that is called strike one there. And the count now comes back a little bit at 2-1. The other pitchers that Andrew Drum gave me on the lineup card today was Michael Zordani, Devin Murray, Eric Burkan, Gardner Meeks, and Nick Ficcaro. Robinson tries to steal third. Schroeder throws over, but not in time. And Robinson steals third and Ledham steals second here. 2-1 count. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Gentile in some real trouble here, as now there's the tying run at third and the go-ahead run on second. No outs, bottom of the 7th. Pioneers currently lead the game 2-1. However, that is very much in danger of changing. 3-1 the count to Calabro. Gentile sets, fires, and that is a walk. That is Gentile's 3rd straight walk on this inning to load the bases now for Henry Daniels, the first baseman. And I don't know, I think maybe perhaps Andrew Dubb was waiting for his pitcher to come back and be fully warmed up. However, I think this will be the end of the road for Gentile.
First baseman, Henry Daniels.
Gentile's put on a masterful performance now, but I think this is a situation where he has gotten himself into trouble to where he cannot dig himself out of this. And the Pioneers in danger of losing their their lead right now. Gentile sets, fires, and that one's just a little bit up high for ball 1. Once again, Gentile has not been able to throw strikes or get ground outs or line outs as easily as what he was earlier on in this game. Gentile sets, fires, and it's once again outside, ball 2 now. Or actually, that'll be a hit by pitch, and that'll tie the ball game. It hit off of Henry Daniels' foot/ankle area, and that'll tie the ball game as Rashad Robinson comes in to score the tying run. The ball game is now tied 2-2 here in the bottom of the 7th, and now the bullpen will be called on in order to relieve Max Gentile. However, Max Gentile, a masterful performance. Giving up the tying run does not take anything away from what he was able to do today. He was masterful, truly amazing. And now it looks like it'll be Gardner Meeks coming in to relieve Max Gentile of it. However, Gentile in his first start for the Pioneers, a fantastic job for him. Everyone has come out of the dugout to congratulate him and shake hands with him, as he is done for the night, unfortunately. However, now the Pioneers in a bit of a trouble now as the bases are loaded for the Muckdogs, with now Giuseppe Arcuri coming up, number 88, the second baseman for the Batavia Muckdogs. And so far, Arcuri has struck out twice in this game in both his first and his second at-bat. Meeks will be the man called upon in order to try and get the Pioneers out of this bit of trouble, or at least to limit the damage.
Now pitching for the Pioneers, number 49, Gardner Meeks.
Gardner Meeks, the 5'8", 165 junior pitcher out of Roanoke College in his hometown of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Always gotta love to see a fellow Virginian, as I myself am from Fairfax, Virginia. Just a couple of short hours away from Virginia Beach. And now we'll take a short little break here as Gardner Meeks will take some time to warm himself up. And we are back, because now it appears Meeks is ready to get underway now. Still no outs here in the bottom of the 7th. The Batavia Muckdogs just tied the game up at 2 runs apiece. Bases are loaded, however, with no outs. There's quite a danger here that the Batavia Muckdogs will go ahead of the Elmira Pioneers right here. Meeks made 2 appearances for Roanoke College, 27 ERA, 1.2 innings pitched, and 3 strikeouts. Meeks fires and has called strike 1. A good start for Meeks, getting ahead of the count. Now, preferably, in best case scenario, it would be 3 straight strikeouts. However, I think that's a little bit ambitious to ask for, but I'm hoping Gardner can come through for me. Meeks fires, delivers, and that is ball just to the outside on a slow curveball there. And the fans stomping their feet here, knowing that there is a lot of blood in the water here. And they smell a possibility to take the lead here. And it's swung on foul, lined right to the shortstop in presto. However, a double play. However, Ledham will score. All right, so just to recap, it was chopped over to Presto at short. He had trouble fielding the ball for a second. However, he got it over for Zeta for the second out. However, Presto also caught it on a line drive, so that was 2 outs there, I do believe, for the Pioneers. Or no, they're actually only counting it as 1. So, that was not a double play. Presto, however, did make the throw over to first to get the line out for our Curry, and now it will be Bryce Mortellaro up for the Pioneers. Or, excuse me, for the Muckdogs. And that is ball 1 from Meeks. 1 ball now, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. The Muckdogs take the lead now, as it was Anthony Calabro coming in from 3rd, and that is ball 2 now for Meeks. Batavia leads 3-2 now. They did a similar comeback last night in Elmira for the Pioneers home opener. They came back and tied it 7-7 before the Pioneers went on a little bit of a run of their own. And Meeks deals and a swing and a miss there from Mortellaro. 2-1 now the count to Mortellaro, 1 out. Meeks really needs to try and get out of this inning with no more damage to keep it a 1-run ball game. And swing, and it'll be chopped foul, and then now the count evens out at 2-2. A big pitch here coming up for Gardner Meeks. An opportunity to get his first strikeout. Meeks deals, and that is ball 3. Just a check swing, and they called the umpire, and they're calling him safe. Check swing there from Mortellaro, just barely able to stay alive. Meeks was hoping for a called strike 3 there, or at least a call in the swing. However, he didn't get it. Meeks sits, deals, swing, and a miss. He struck him out. The first strikeout for Gardner Meeks of the game, and now 2 are away here in the bottom of the 7th. What a massive pitch there from Gardner Meeks. And now that'll bring up the 7th batter for the Muckdogs, number 24, Victor Alongi, the 3rd baseman. He flew out in his first at-bat and struck out in his second at-bat. Meeks sets, deals, and is chopped foul, and that'll be strike number 1. Meeks looking for a massive out here to get out of this inning with only 1 run deficit right now for the Pioneers. Pioneers are losing now 3-2 to the Muckdogs. Muckdogs take the lead in the bottom of this inning. And that is a ball 1. And now the count is 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners on 3rd and 2nd for the Muckdogs as they try and extend their lead. Swing, and it's fouled off, chopped high, and that'll go off the roof of the press box here, as you can hear clang against the metal roof. And now the count 1-2 and a massive pitch here for Gardner Meeks. Meeks able to get the last strikeout. He needs 1 more. He needs 1 more strike to get out of this jam, and only with a 1-run deficit for the Pioneers. A huge pitch here. Meeks sets, fires. Called strike 3. He struck him out, and Gardner Meeks gets out of that inning. And now we go to the top of the 8th. Batavia has taken the lead 3-2. However, it's only a 1-run ball game as we go to the top of the 8th right after this.
Conscious. We're looking for agricultural solutions that have less impact on the environment. Now, the French hybrids that my grandfather brought over in the 1950s already solved this problem ahead of time. They take half the amount of fungicide, and that was the backbone of what built Bully Hill, the French-American hybrids. My dad firmly believed that a product is an extension of a person's soul, and we still adhere to that today at Bully Hill Vineyards. His memory and his vision is still seen around the Finger Lakes. Here at Bully Hill, we're excited about the future and sharing this experience with you. Bully for you.
I was actually a passenger on the bus. Sitting on the bus, I looked up and I saw we are hiring. So I called up the number, I came in for an interview, and I started driving. My name is Randy Ramnarayan. I'm the Director of Transportation here at TransDev, and I've been here on property for 16 years. People come up to you and say, hey, I remember you as an operator, and you did this for me. And it just overwhelms me, and it makes me so joyful to know that I made a difference. Everyone from the CEO, COO, all the way down, it's the same message. Customer engagement, employee engagement. This is what we do here at TransDev.
Have a nice day.
It's not a job that you gotta drag yourself out of bed to get here. It's you wake up every morning excited to be here. This is the most wonderful place to work.
Welcome back to the Elmira Pioneers live stream. The Batavia Muckdogs currently lead the Pioneers 3-2. Now here in the top of the 8th inning, the Pioneers looking to try and tie this game back up, and it'll be Nick Montagna, the leadoff man, number 40, the third baseman tonight. He singled in his first at-bat and flew out in his second at-bat, and now there will be a new pitcher for the Muckdogs. It'll be number 21, Michael Pedraza of Kentucky State University. He had one start for Kentucky State, mainly a relief guy. However, he has 30.2 innings pitched and 32 strikeouts. And his first pitch is a swing and a miss from Montagna for strike one. Pioneers now down a run here in the top of the 8th. They need to try and get one run to tie it up. It's still only a 3-2 ball game. Pedraza deals, and that is up and away for ball one, and that'll even out the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Pedraza sets, fires, and a swing and a miss from Montagna once again. And now Pedraza goes ahead in the count, 1-2. Pedraza now sets, fires, and swing and a miss, and he struck him out. Montagna goes down swinging to Pedraza, and that'll bring up the 10th batter in the Pioneers lineup, number 24, Eric Charnetsky. Charnetsky, the hometown boy from Elmira, the right fielder tonight. He lined out in his first at-bat and then was hit by a pitch in his second at-bat. Charnetsky with one away here in the top of the 8th inning. We'll try and get something going for the Pioneers. Pedraza sets, fires, and that is called strike one. Pedraza sets, deals, and that is inside for ball one. Aces wild now, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Pedraza sets, fires, and that one is ball 2 up high. 2-1 now the count. Charnetsky takes the lead. Charnetsky now waits, and Pedraza fires outside. Now count 3-1. A walk would be huge here just to get the inning started here for the Pioneers, as Charnetsky does represent the tying run. And now Pedraza sets, fires, and that is a walk, and that'll be a ball for walk now. Charnetsky is a runner on first here with only 1 out in the top of the 8th inning, and now the go-ahead run is going to be the leadoff man in the top of the order, Weston Gingrich, number 4, the left fielder. He flew out in his first at-bat and then singled in his second and singled in his third. However, now it looks like Mortellaro is going to come in to talk to Pedraza a little bit now as the go-ahead run is at the plate with Weston Gingrich. And now actually the coach for Batavia will come out, the pitching coach will come out and have a discussion with Pedraza in the infield real quick. Charnetsky now at first for the Pioneers. Represents the tying run. Gingrich, the go-ahead run. And this is the perfect time for the top of the Pioneers lineup to be coming up, as it'll be Blake and Schroeder behind Gingrich. And now Pedraza looks as though he is set and ready to go. Charnetsky with a smaller lead off first. Pedraza looks over to Charnetsky, sets, fires, and it's swung on and foul from Gingrich on the very first pitch. 1 strike now. Pedraza sets, looks over to Charnetsky briefly. Now will set and fire, and it's down low for ball 1. It almost got away from Mortellaro there for a second. However, he's able to keep it in front of him at least. If it had gone behind him, Charnetsky would have taken off for a second. Ace is wild now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Batavia Muckdogs currently lead the Elmira Pioneers 3-2 here. This is a very pivotal inning for the Pioneers, trying to tie up this ball game. Pedraza sets, fires, and that is ball up high. Ball 2 now, and Gingrich takes the lead. 2-1 the count. Charnetsky still the runner at first. The crowd clapping here and stomping their feet, trying to get Pedraza back in it, and that'll be ball down low. Ball 3 now. Pedraza in danger of walking his second straight batter, and there is a pitcher in the Batavia Muckdogs bullpen. I cannot quite make it out who it is. However, there is a pitcher warming up there just in case Pedraza gives up anything. Pedraza now 3-1 count to Gingrich. Sets, fires, and that is ball 4 inside, and that'll be a walk. And a second straight walk for Pedraza now, and Charnetsky's now over in second in scoring position in the go-ahead run. And Gingrich is at first, and now that'll bring up the second batter in the order for the Pioneers, number 9, Aiden Blake, the designated hitter tonight. Aiden Blake doubled in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, and was struck out in his third at-bat. This will be the first time he will be facing Pedraza. 1 out here. Charnetsky with a big lead off second. Curry coming in a little bit to potentially have a throw out. Pedraza deals, and that's called strike 1. 2 straight walks for Pedraza. However, he's able to find the strike zone on that one. Pedraza looks over at Charnetsky, sets, fires, swung on, blooper over the second baseman. That's going to be a base hit. And now all the runners' bases are loaded. That'll be a single. And Charnetsky comes home and ties the game. Eric Charnetsky ties the game off an Aiden Blake RBI double. And now the game is tied at 3 runs apiece. Aiden Blake in the clutch, able to get an RBI double. And now the game is tied 3 apiece. And now Gingrich, the go-ahead run is now at third. Blake is at second. And a massive turn of events here for the Pioneers as they have tied this game here in the top of the 8th inning. Still only 1 out and plenty of opportunity for the Pioneers to take the lead here. Pedraza now with the mound meeting now as Mortellaro came over to talk to him. However, Blake at second, Gingrich at third, and now it'll be the number 3 batter in the Pioneers lineup, number 10, John Schroeder, the catcher, coming up to bat. And honestly, I would love to see Schroeder at least get on base, if not try and get one of the runs in to take the lead here, because I don't know who else the Batavia Muckdogs have in their bullpen, but if they are an ace, in order to get out of the 9th inning potentially, I would really love to see the Pioneers have the lead here going into the top of the 9th. Or excuse me, the bottom of the 8th. However, still only 1 out here. Schroeder now at the plate. Pedraza deals, and that's called strike 1. It does not look like there is a pitcher warming in the Pioneers bullpen, so it'll probably be Gardner Meeks back up for the bottom of the 8th. Pedraza deals, swing, and a miss there from Schroeder, and now he quickly falls behind 0-2. Pedraza back to throwing strikes, and that is not a good thing for the Elmira Pioneers. Pedraza now trying to look for a strikeout here. Schroeder trying to just stay alive. Deals, and it's down low in the third, and Mortellaro once again just able to keep it in front of him. If that ball gets behind him, Gingrich can race in and score and take the lead in this game. It's currently 3-3. Muckdogs and Pioneers tied. Pioneers tied it up here on an Aiden Blake RBI double. Pedraza deals, swing, and it's driven into right field. The right fielder going over and will make the play. However, Gingrich will tag in and score, and Blake is safe at third, and the Pioneers have taken the lead here. That may have been a sac fly. That was a sac fly there for John Schroeder to get Gingrich in to score, and the Pioneers retake the lead with 2 runs here in the top of the 8th inning. And it's now 2 outs here in the top of the 8th, and now it'll be the RBI man, Ray Hernandez, who homered in the top of the 4th inning for the Pioneers, will be now up at the plate. Ray Hernandez, number 47, struck out in his first at-bat, homered in his second at-bat, and then was struck out in his third at-bat. Runner still at third, as that is strike 1 from Pedraza. Aiden Blake still at third base for the Pioneers. So still an opportunity to do damage here, even with 2 outs. It would be a massive thing if the Pioneers could get a multi-run lead right now, as it's a 4-3 ball game. And that's called strike 2. And now quickly, once again, Hernandez now falls behind to Pedraza 0-2, as did Schroeder. And now this time, there's no room for a sacrifice fly. Our Curry, the second baseman, is all the way over on the first base side on the shift a little bit. Pedraza deals, swing, and a miss, and he struck him out. And that'll end the inning. However, the Pioneers score 2 runs to take the lead here in the top of the 8th inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Pioneers lead 4-3. the Elmira Pioneers live stream here. It's the bottom of the 8th inning here. The Pioneers lead the Batavia Muckdogs 4-3 here in a very tightly contested pitcher's duel game. It'll be number 45, Matt DeStefano, up to bat, going up against Gardner Meeks now. Meeks returning for his second inning after having 2 super clutch strikeouts in the bottom of the 7th to get out of a 2-runner jam. And now, with the Pioneers leading by 1 run, and that'll be ball 1 from Meeks just to the inside. Meeks will look to try and just send this game to the 9th inning. Elmira clutching to a 1-run lead right now. Meeks sets, deals, and that one's outside, ball 2. This is almost the exact opposite of last night's game, the Elmira Pioneers home opener in Elmira. That was an 11-9 Elmira Pioneers win. And that is driven deep right field, and that is just foul. And that is a lucky break there for the Pioneers, as that one would have been a base hit, as the right fielder, Charnetsky, was not in position to go and get that ball. And so now, DeStefano will still be ahead of the count, 2-1 right now. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Meeks deals, swung on, and chopped foul. And now the count evens out, 2-2. A payoff pitch here for Meeks to try and get another strikeout to his resume. It would be his 3rd if he can get it here on this pitch. Meeks now delivers, and that one is just to the inside. And now the count goes full, 3-2. Meeks came in a bases loaded jam in the bottom of the 7th inning. Delivered 2 clutch strikeouts to only allow 1 run. The Pioneers now still lead it, and that is a hit by pitch. That is a hit by pitch walk for Matt DeStefano to get the tying run now on first for the Batavia Muckdogs. And now the go-ahead run is at the plate in Galvin Sims Jr.
Now batting for the Muckdogs, number 35, the designated hitter, Gavin Sims Jr.
It still looks as though there's no pitchers warming in either bullpen. So it'll probably be Meeks versus Pedraza for the 9th. Meeks now. Sims showed bunt. He checked over to first for DeStefano. He got back in time. Meeks. Sims shows bunt again and checks over to DeStefano. Once again over at first. Still safe. Sims showing bunt for the 3rd time. Meeks sets, fires, and that is a called strike. And Shorter wanted to throw it, however he held back, and DeStefano is able to get back on first. Better not to risk him advancing on a wild throw. Meeks now ahead, 0-1 in the count. Sims shows bunt again and checks over to DeStefano again. Does Meeks still safe? Meeks now. Sets, fires, and that is potentially a check swing. No, they're going to call it a strike. It is 0-2 now. Meeks looking for a payoff strikeout here to get the first out of the inning. Pioneers still clinging to a 4-3 lead here. Swing, and it's driven deep center field. Gingrich going back, makes the play, and holds the runner at first. DeStefano held at first because Gingrich was too close to second. A great line out there. The Pioneers will take outs any way they can get them at this point. And that is a fly out for Sims, and that'll bring up number 7, Caleb Rodriguez, the shortstop. The 10th batter in the order. Actually, now it's going to be a change, actually. There's going to be a pinch hitter here for the Batavia Muckdogs. The Muckdogs are pinch hitting James Acelta, who we saw last night, who started as the catcher.
For the Muckdogs, number 27, James Acelta.
Celta pinch hitting here. It's an interesting choice of a catcher to be the pinch hitter here for the Muckdogs. However, they must believe that he is going to do something fantastic here, as that is ball down low 1 from Meeks. Celta still represents the go-ahead run here in this game, as the Pioneers only lead it 4-3. Meeks steals, and that one's once again down low. 2-0 the count now, as Celta ahead now. Meeks steals, and that one is inside, and now it's ball 3 now. And Meeks in danger of walking the go-ahead run here in a Celta with only 1 out. It's really going to be a tight spot here. Meeks sets, fires, and that is a walk. That is a walk for Gardner Meeks. James the Celta reaches first now, and now it'll be Sims on second.
Now batting for the Muckdogs, number 32, the extra hitter, Rashad Robinson.
Now we'll go back to the top of the order, and Robinson makes in a bit of trouble here, as there's still only 1 out here. Pioneers still lead it by 1 run here in the bottom of the 8th. Meeks trying to get out of this inning with no runs scored in order to keep the lead going into the top of the 9th. Meeks deals, and Robinson throws a strike, and that is going to be safe. A throw from Schroeder was not quite in time. It was a very close play. However, 0-1 the count to Robinson. It was a very close throw. A great job and a great effort by Presto to get over to second and try and make that play. It was a good throw by Schroeder there. Just not quite in time. That would have been a huge out for the Pioneers. Meeks checks over to Robinson, or excuse me, to Sims. And now, I have to wait and see here. Actually, it's DeStefano at second, excuse me. Meeks, and that'll be a ball to the outside, and that'll make it aces wild here. This is 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. DeStefano on second, and a Celta on first. Robinson at the plate. Gardner Meeks. And that is going to be another attempted throw by, and that's going to be an errant throw. And now it's going to be runner going to third. And it's going to be trying to be cut off, and it won't be. And the runners advance for the Batavia Muckdogs. Stefano at third now. And as Celta at second on an errant throw from Schroeder to try and get it to Presto for a throw out. Still 2-1 the count to Robinson. And now the Pioneers are really in some trouble as the go-ahead run in James the Celta is in scoring position on second. Bottom of the 8th inning now, 1 out, 2-1 count to Robinson. The crowd energized now. Pioneers clinging and clutching to the 1-run lead, 4-3 the score right now. Meeks delivers, and that's ball down low for ball 3. And now it's 3-1 the count. A potential walk here to load the bases would be devastating for the Pioneers. Meeks steals, and that is a walk, and that will be back-to-back walks for Gardner Meeks now to load the bases here in the bottom of the 8th with only 1 out. It's going to be very tough for Meeks to get out of this. There is a pitcher warming in the Pioneers bullpen now, as the Pioneers are in some trouble now.
Number 16, the right fielder, Josh Leadham.
And now Ledham, who homered in the bottom of the 4th inning, along with grounded out in his first at-bat and was walked in his third at-bat, number 16, the right fielder. Meeks now sets, delivers, and that is called strike 1. A good start for Meeks. Meeks once again in a bases-loaded jam as he was in the bottom 7th when he came in to relieve Max Gentile, who pitched 6 and I believe 1/3 innings almost flawlessly. Meeks now sets, fires, and that is a little bit down low. And now the count, once again, aces wild. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Meeks really could use a strikeout here Looks like, I believe that is Michael Zordani, number 5, warming in the Pioneers bullpen, as that is called strike 2 there. That was a big pitch from Meeks, and now the count is 1-2, Meeks ahead. Meeks really could use a strikeout right here to get it to 2 outs, and then any out gets them out of this jam. Meeks, a huge pitch here, sets, fires, and that is called just to the outside, ball 2, and the count still at 2 strikes. Count even. Presto with his hands on his head, can't believe the call. That was a really close call there. That was just to the outside if it was outside. Extremely tight now. Still Meeks with an opportunity here. Meeks sets, delivers, and it's chopped into right field. Pisaccia comes over and gets the out. And it actually holds the runner at third. DeStefano cannot come over. And now the bases are still loaded here for the Muckdogs. However, no runs have been scored, and now 2 outs. Any out gets the Pioneers out of this inning with a lead. And now it's Anthony Calabro up to bat, number 18, the center fielder. Struck out in his first at-bat and then was walked in his second and walked in his third. He will face Meeks for the first time. Meeks was so clutch in the bottom of the 7th to get the Pioneers to where they are right now. He needs to come up clutch one more time to get them to the 9th. And that will not do it. That'll be a base hit. That'll tie the game. And that'll take the lead for the Muckdogs. He's safe. And that is 2 runs scored on a double. An RBI double for the Muckdogs. And Anthony Calabro. And the Muckdogs retake the lead 5-4 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That is a devastating turn of events for the Pioneers. And the crowd goes wild now. Henry Daniels with a runner still on third and Robinson. The danger is not over yet. Runner on the corners for the Muckdogs. It's a 1-run game right now, 5-4. The Muckdogs lead. However, Meeks needs to try and keep this to a 1-run game. That is called strike 1 and a good start for Meeks. Meeks was so close to getting out of this inning with no damage done. However, 2 runs have scored now, and the Muckdogs take the lead once again, and the Pioneers will be down to their last 3 outs. Swing and a miss there from Daniels, and a good pitch there from Meeks. And it looks like Meeks will be able to escape this inning, barring 1 pitch, knock on wood. Come on, Meeks, strike him out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, right here. 0-2 the count to Daniels. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And that is a strikeout for Gardner Meeks that gets the Pioneers out of the inning. 2 runs were scored, though, and the Batavia Muckdogs retake the lead 5-4 as we go to the top of the 9th and the last chance for the Pioneers to make a comeback right after this.
What if white wine was not made for poultry, but for friendship? What if red wine set aside the steak and made room for love? What if we've been drinking wine wrong all along, and instead wine was to be shared as a human experience with love, integrity, and hope? Hi, my name is Greg Taylor. I'm the vineyard manager and property manager of Bully Hill Vineyards, and I'm a 4th generation winemaker and 5th generation grape grower of my family. So it all started with my great-great-grandfather George and his son Walter Taylor Sr. They came up to this region for the promise of a better life due to the rising wine industry on Keuka Lake. Walter Taylor was the one who first started the Taylor Wine Company. The Taylor Wine Company was one of the largest wineries in the United States. My great-grandfather had passed away, and my grandfather Grayton and his 2 brothers Fred and Clarence took over the company at its peak, producing around 40 million gallons of wine a year. Grayton had a son, Walter, who was my father, and he started Bully Hill Vineyards in 1967. My father had a vision for the Finger Lakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm, from where these hybrid varietals have made their way to almost all 50 states. As we become more environmentally conscious, we're looking for agricultural solutions that have less impact on the environment. Now, the French hybrids that my grandfather brought over in the 1950s already solved this problem ahead of time. They take half the amount of fungicide, and that was the backbone of what built Bully Hill, the French-American hybrids. My dad firmly believed that a product is an extension of a person's soul, and we still adhere to that today at Bully Hill Vineyards.
Welcome back to the Elmira Pioneers live stream as the Pioneers are down to their last 3 outs here as they find themselves down a run here, 5-4 to the Batavia Muckdogs. It'll be Kevin Noss up to bat first for the Pioneers. It is now Trey Bacon on the mound. We saw him last night, and that is a wild pitch for ball one. Noss so far in this game has struck out, grounded out, and struck out again. Bacon fires, and that's called strike one, and the count evens out at 1 ball, 1 strike. The Pioneers down to the last 3 outs here in the top of the 9th. Last effort for the Pioneers to make a comeback and tie up this game again. It'll be Noss, Presto, and Frazetta up, and that'll be called strike 3. Or no, excuse me, strike 2. That's only strike 2. Noss did not strike out on that pitch. It's 1-2 in the count. Bacon sets, fires, and that one is a called strike 3, strike out. Not a great start for the Pioneers as they are now down to 2 outs here, and it'll be the shortstop, Dom Presto, number 2, up next to try and revive.
Number 2, the shortstop, Dom Presto.
Line out here in his first at-bat, struck out in his second at-bat, and lined out in his third at-bat. This middle of the order has not had a great night tonight, and that'll be ball 1 from Bacon. None of them have registered a hit. The 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Pioneers have not registered a single hit this entire night. All of them have just struck out and lined out. It's not a great position to be in when you're down to your last 2 outs here, but they're going to try anyway. And that is a start. That'll be a hit by pitch, walk to put the tying run on first, and that'll now bring up Matt Frazetta, the seventh hitter for the Pioneers.
Number 44, Matt Frazetta.
That's a start. The tying run is now at first in Dom Presto, and the go-ahead run of Matt Frazetta is now at the plate. Frazetta, number 44, the first baseman, struck out in his first at-bat, lined out in his second at-bat, and struck out in his third at-bat as there was a check over to first on Presto, and they are arguing the call to try and get him out. However, there is no call made. Presto is safe for now. And the manager for the Batavia Muckdogs have come back out to talk to the umpire real quick to argue the call maybe a little bit. However, Presto's still safe at first. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Pioneers down to the last 2 outs here. Bacon fires, and that's called strike 1 to Presto. Or excuse me, to Frazetta. An extremely tightly contested back and forth game. The Pioneers led it at one point 2-0 in the top of the 4th. And now it is 5-4 Muckdogs. And that'll be ball 1. And that'll be Aces Wild. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Bacon looks over to Presto. Fans fired up. Bacon swings, and it's down low in the dirt. Once again, it's been so lucky. Mortellaro, credit to him, man. I mean, he has done a great job of keeping balls in front of him. There have been a lot of times where it's come off of him and rebounded, but it has not gotten behind him. And that's honestly been a real problem for the Pioneers that they haven't been able to get. And that's another hit by pitch. Another hit by pitch here. And that is back-to-back hit by pitches from Trey Bacon. And now runners on first and second for the Pioneers with only 1 out here. And now that'll bring up number 22, Nick Bisaccia, to bat here. The number 8 hitter in this lineup, the second baseman. He singled in his first at-bat, lined out in his second, and then flew out in his third at-bat. An opportunity here as now the go-ahead run is at first base in Frazetta. The tying run is in scoring position with Dom Presto. And there was a bit of a mound meeting there for Mortellaro, who came over to talk to Bacon real quick to try and settle him down. However, the Pioneers still have life here in the top of the ninth. They are down to their last 2 outs, but they still have hope with runners on first and second. Bisaccia awaits the pitch from Bacon. Bacon looks over to Presto on second, deals, and that is ball 1 up high. 1-0 the count. Bisaccia takes an early lead. Bisaccia getting his first start tonight for the Pioneers this season. Curry once again threatens. Let's throw it on second, and that is a fouled off, and that'll be now Aces Wild as it's 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the ninth. The Muckdog fans still packed in here to see the conclusion of this one. This has been such a tight pitcher's duel type game here. 5-4 the current score. Pioneers down to their last 2 outs trying to get the tying run, which would be Dom Presto around home. He's currently at second, and our Curry came over real quick to try and maybe get a check throw from Bacon. However, Bacon does not check throw it over to second. Bisaccia still awaits. Bacon looks over one last time, sets, fires, and check swing in the miss. And Bisaccia comes up empty on that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count. 1 out still here in the top of the ninth. Bacon put 2 runners on with hit by pitches after striking out Kevin Noss. And the runner goes, Presto goes to steal third, and Frazetta's safe at second, and the runners advance, and it's 2-2 count. And now it is runners on third and second now for the Pioneers with only 1 out here. And now the go-ahead run in Frazetta is in scoring position on second. The tying run in Presto at third. 2-2 still the count to Bisaccia. A massive opportunity here for the Pioneers to extend this game. Bacon fires, and that one is ball 3 up high. The count goes full. Fans arguing the safe call at second, as that one was a bang-bang play, and now they are heckling the umpires. Bacon here with all the pressure on him. 3-2 count. The shift is on against Bisaccia. All the infielders are in just in case he bunts. Time granted to Bisaccia as he re-enters the batter box. Chance going here in Batavia. Bacon fires, swing and a miss. He struck him out, and now the Pioneers find themselves down to their last out. And now it'll be down to the last out, number 40, Nick Montagna, the third baseman, who singled in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, and struck out in his third at-bat. He will be the last remaining out that the Pioneers have if he cannot get on or tie this game. Bacon sets, delivers, swing, and it's popped up foul. First baseman running over to try and get it, and he will, and that'll end the ball game. The Batavia Muckdogs have done it. They have held off the Elmira Pioneers, and they win 5-4 for their home opener. A disappointing finish for the Pioneers. However, still a great game from them overall. They fought all the way to the end and took them all the way to their very last out in order for Batavia to finish them off. The Pioneers do drop to 1-1 on the year. However, they will pick it up tomorrow as they go on the road to face Auburn. I will be there covering that game, and then they will have off Monday, and then they will be at home Tuesday, the June 6th versus Newark on Wegmans night at Dunfield. Make sure to tune in to Auburn tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and make sure to tune in to Newark on Tuesday at 6:35 back at Dunfield. And I'm Alex Chivroot, and